Hope you're doing great. Wanted to talk today about scope creep. And this is it sounds like a scary term, which I guess is appropriate since we're in the month of Halloween. This is appropriately named because it can be very sneaky, right? So basically what scope creep is, it's basically anything that you're doing over and above the work that you originally agreed to do. So sometimes this can look like extra rounds of revisions that are snuck into the project. Sometimes this can look like maybe even an extra piece of a project added on, or extra ideas or extra features that the client would like to add in to the project. And sometimes those aren't a big deal, but sometimes it can mean a lot more time and effort and energy for you. So we're going to talk about that today. In case we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Amy Farrell. I'm a graphic designer, been one for about 20 years now. Past 15 years or so, I've been running my own graphic design business and design studio. So I really want to help you in your design business or your service business, your creative business, get some of your valuable time back. I think that as designers, we struggle with this a lot. I want to help you avoid burnout, and I want to help you create profitable client relationships. That's really what it's all about. And really deep relationships with your client too. That's really what this business is about, is relationships. So that's what we're working on. So back to scope creep, and I'm going to try to keep this real short and actionable for you today so you can get back to your important work and your design projects. So if you're in an agreement where you're paid hourly for a client, no matter how long it takes you or how many rounds of revisions, then you probably don't need to worry too much about this, as long as that's how your contract is set up, because there are certain projects that just kind of require that type of structure where it's in development or it's ongoing work. So you might just be billing per hour, which is completely fine as long as your other projects don't suffer. So what I'm mainly talking about today are projects you're doing where you've agreed to do a set amount of work for a set price, right? So a few tips just to make sure that scope creep doesn't creep in on you. So number one, always define the scope of your project clearly in your proposal and your contract. List out your specific deliverables and features, and always, always, always include how many rounds of revisions are included in your scope of work. And then spell out carefully what happens if extra rounds of revisions are needed or requested by the client. So this can be an hourly charge for extra revisions. You might have a different way you handle it. However you do it, just make sure that it's clearly spelled out, okay? And maybe you actually create a new scope of work for the client if you're heading into one of these times where you see scope creep coming. You say, hey, these are added features, this is added revisions, we're going to need to create a new scope of work, or maybe a change order or a work order. Okay, and another tip, learn to spot scope creep before it sneaks in, so you can remind your client ahead of time that, hey, we're heading into this territory where we're going to have extra revisions. How would you like to handle this? Okay, and if the client says, yeah, I need you to do this extra work, you can say, sure, I'd be happy to take care of that for you. I will follow up with an estimate for that additional work. And if you're not able to accommodate that additional work, let them know, or just advise them when you might be able to work it into your schedule, okay? This is once again, a very factual thing, okay? If you want more stuff, there's gonna be more budget needed and more time, okay? Those are just the facts. So I'm okay with over-delivering a little bit on projects, because this kind of like wiggles into that territory a little bit. So I'm okay with over-delivering a little bit on a project if a client just asks for, another really quick thing. But I'm not okay with doing hours and hours of extra work that I'm not being paid for, assuming that work is actually extra and not just part of the agreed upon scope. So just be sure you're always tuned in as the project progresses. Be keeping track of your hours and your revisions so you can spot any potential scope creep and address it before it actually is too late and you've lost time and money on the work and you're not being compensated for it, okay? And I think that's all I have today. This is a really quick couple of tips for you. I hope that's been helpful. Please like, share, comment on this so that more designers can find it and be helped by the tips that I'm sharing. And if you're looking for more support in your graphic design business or a place to connect with other designers and just, you know, kind of swap stories and help each other out, I'd love to invite you into my free Facebook group. I'll include the link here so you can join. All right, have a wonderful day and a great week. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.